We back at them again, man, when they thought it was finna end. Thank y'all for riding with me. Where? You know you forever locked in with your boy, Stories with V. At this time, family, y'all know what I need y'all to do for us, V-Mob. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop us a comment, man. Salute to each and every one of y'all that just pulled up, that's joining the V-Mob family. Man, salute to each and every person that tapped in. Them last two videos we dropped, man, they are doing phenomenal. So listen, man, we going to try to beat that record. This video right here, we going for 400 likes. Let's get it, 400 likes, man. So V-Mob, kick back, relax. Let's get it, let's go. Back at him again, man. Kicking it off from the top. Now, this story right here, or the stories that we going to rip and run with today is how people try to be conniving and sneaky, and sometimes, 9 times out of 10, man, it's always going to backfire on them. So, boom. We got, during this time, we had some dirty police running around in our city. So let's just say this. Now, if you know anything about Baltimore City, you'll be able to put together who the police I'm talking about. Now, these guys was going around, I'm talking about, they was doing the unthinkable. Planting stuff, taking stuff, they was doing a whole lot of nonsense. But a lot of dudes, once they ended up getting locked up, a lot of dudes started getting back in the court off of the dirty law that they had did to them. But it's always a catch to that. There's always going to be somebody that's trying to sneak through the cracks. Now, during this time, you got dudes that's already over the jail that done already been booked. They done already been locked up. But if you was from over this side of town where predominantly these illegal police was doing their activities at, a lot of these guys that was over the jail, they started telling. Now, the reason that they started telling was because they was starting to notice that dudes who actually did get locked up by the dirty police, they was able to get back on the pills and they was able to come back uptown off of the dirty law that was done to them. But these guys, they didn't have no dirty law done to them. So what they was doing was they was starting to reach out to they was even getting so down bad to the point to where as though they was reaching out to their family, having a family get a lawyer just to get on their case, just for them to be able to talk to their lawyer and tell them they want to cooperate. Now, the angle that they was taking as far as them cooperating is when they come back to the streets, they just gonna tell everybody uptown, man, shit, you know, I came back home because such and such of them had locked me up. Now, when you dealing with the average street person, nobody's fucking remembering who the police officer that locked you up was. Now, granted, was it the dirty police that locked you up? Nobody really knows. But these guys, it was 110% that they didn't get locked up by none of the police who got locked up for the charges. So a lot of dudes start, doing they want to, calling the lawyer, reaching out to this person, that person. They start telling on old cases, old bodies. They start telling on motherfuckers who was running current blocks right now, where the drug houses was at, where the big dogs was staying at, so forth and so on. So during this time, a lot of motherfuckers was getting knocked off, but at the same time, a lot of dudes was coming home too off of them telling, besides the dudes who was actually coming back home on a pill. So boom, one particular situation, got a little dude, he over the jail. Now, during this time, he probably got like a 15-year bit, so he may be 7 years into his bit, so he really could have finished his time, but we wish jail on no man. But when you do the crime, you got to do the time. When you sign up for a certain life, it comes with a set of rules, man. And when you take that first step and you indulge and you get activated on whatever you going to do, you got to take on every last rule that come with that shit. And a lot of motherfuckers, they don't want to do it because they get into this game being followers. They get into this game trying to follow behind the next man, not understanding what they really getting themselves into. Going back to our message, don't get involved in the streets. So boom. Lord dude get the word of what's going on. He got a cellmate at the time. Now, his cellmate actually got locked up by one of the dirty police officers. So he keep telling them, man, what the fuck, man, I just got good news, bro. I just hollered at my lawyer. She said I'm looking good. The appeal date is set for such and such. I might be ready to go uptown, man, within the next 6 months. So now the cellmate, he started to get jealous. What, man, you ready to go home? How the fuck you going home? What the fuck you do? So the little dude tell him, man, stop playing me. Such and such of them had locked me up. They just got locked up for the little dirty shit they was doing, what I kept telling my lawyer from the beginning. And a lot of these dudes was trying to get lawsuits on the officers or against the state, however that worked out. So boom, shorty ends up going through the process. He ends up going home within the next 9 to 10 months. So now back to the dude who got the 15 years. He's sitting in the cell. He started to put his game plan in his mind. Man, fuck that. I got to get up out of here too. Now during this time too, with another situation that pushed him over the edge is over the jail during this time, he gets so scared in his bit, he started running with a gang. So now the gang that he get locked in with, they ends up getting into a little war with another gang that's over the jail during this time. So now him not being the stand-up man he is, he probably was on the tier with, let's say, 10 other of his gang members. Whole time a mission pop up, the other 9 they go on a mission. Him, he was at work during this time, so by the time he get back, he done missed out on all the action. So all his homeboys, they done got shipped out to other units now. So boom, the dudes that still left on the unit that's from the opposing side, they on his ass. They ready to do something to him. They telling him, listen, man, you got 48 hours to pack that shit up. Get on the door. If you don't, you already know what time it is. So now he even more on the tip like, shit, I need to go. I gotta go. And the one person who probably would have had my back other than my gang members was my cellmate. And he gone now. Whole time he ends up doing that duck shit. He put himself on the door. He checked in. So now everything he done did up within them 7 years up until this point, he was solidified. But now that you done checked in and you got that smut on your name, all that you done did then got wiped away now. So now he over the jail labeled as a target. So boom, he ends up calling his lawyer. He cooperate. Long story short, he get a big time drug boy knocked off that got, let's just say, 2 blocks uptown. So he ends up telling his legal attorney where they need to go at to make the bust. They ends up checking it out. Boom. They ends up sending the peoples right there, knock the big boys and them off, and they probably get about, let's just say, 10 people locked up. He ends up coming uptown. So now when he come uptown, he promoting to everybody that the only reason, because motherfuckers is curious, like, man, how the fuck you get back home so fast, man? I thought you had 15. He like, no, shit, you know, what's the name of them was involved in my case too. So now, what he not realizing is you using that excuse to people on the streets. But the dudes that you done just got locked up, you do know somehow, some way, if they look deep enough, it's going to be something that's coming back to you saying that this evidence or the tip, the lead, whatever the case may be, something is going to come back to you, letting that man that you got locked up and them other 10 dudes that you got booked, that you was involved in this whole time, just as everybody suspected. Maybe about 6 to 7 months go by on the trial. Some of them start copping, others start getting sentenced to their time. Whole time, one of the little dudes, he more so like a bookworm, or let's just say he got a good lawyer at the time. The lawyer start looking deep. He ends up finding out where this whole thing started from. Long story short, he still catches bit, but he get a good amount of time. But now word gets sent back out to the streets. Who did what? Now Shorty got a bounty on his head. So now he uptown ripping and running, thinking that he good, he in the clear, he back outside, he back hustling, he trying to build his name up, and he even had the audacity to try to go take over one of the neighborhoods that he put the motherfuckers who was running that block in jail. Like, wicked and wild situations, man. So boom, about 6-7 months later, one day little dude catch him leaving a situation with a pair of soft legs, always not thinking with the wrong head. Front, the little dudes got the clamp on him so vicious. 2 of the little dudes come walking from the top. Two of the little dudes come walking from the bottom. He literally comes out that bottom step. As soon as he opened the gate, little dudes punish him right there. Boom, 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 boom. They stand over top bomb. They make it do what it do. They gets up out of there. Now the female, she's sitting right there at the door because she was ready to go back into the house. But she stood right there at the doorway, making sure he got to his car safe. Him not being so focused, head down, looking at his phone, they ends up blowing him. She screams, makes a big commotion. They get up out of there, do what they need to do, get back the way they go. But all this over, you trying to play a wicked and wild conniving game. You did a crime, do your time. You had a 15-year bitch. You was 7 to 8 years in. You maybe only had 4 or 5 years left, man. You already had did 8. But person being so selfish, thinking you so slick, trying to put another man in the same fire that you were scared to stand in, and look what ended up happening to you. But y'all know how that go, more wicked and wild situations. With that being said, family, jump into story number 2. Now, mob, story number 2, man, another wicked and wild situation, and this is when people, again, being sneaky and conniving. Now, we got these 2 little dudes. They ends up getting into it over a petty-ass situation. I don't even want to tell y'all the situation, but, of course, we all know a petty amount of money and a no-good female. So now, these 2 dudes is going at it, and, of course, as we all know, in this day and age, a lot of dudes, they don't keep it in the streets no more. Everything has to take it to the internet. So now they start going at it in the streets slowly but surely and make its way to the internet. Now they internet beefing. So now it's to the point to where as though who gonna get who location first. So one of the little dudes, they decide, you know what? I know how we gonna get him. He has a sister. He ends up telling his sister slide in the little dude DM. Now, only thing is, this not really his blood sister. It's more like a homegirl for real. So the little dude, the opposition, he not gonna be able to identify, man, that's your sister. Stop playing with me. Whole time the broad do what she told to do. Slide in the little dude DM for real. They start forming a relationship. Not even 4 or 5 months later, you already know what it is. They pinata his ass. One day they slide down on him. The sister, of course, they already got the location, but they had to set it up to make sure it was the right timing for them to get away with what they needed to get away with. Whole time the sis get a word, nah, do that shit right now. She dropped the location of where they at. She go ahead and put it on him, leaving the broad house thinking he just had the best day of his life. They go ahead and punish him. Boom, they M1s him. He cleared. Now, though, this way the war get tricky at, because the little dude who they cracked, he got 2 older brothers. So now the older brothers, they putting the hammer down in the streets and they want answers. What the fuck happened to my little brother? Whole time word come back, but it don't come back on the actual dude. They know that they beefing with him, but it's more so like, man, they've been going at it for about a year during this time. So no, who the fuck actually stepped up and did what needed to be done? So now, with enough investigation going on in the streets, word come back about the little bro, because like I told you, this not his blood sister, it's just his homegirl for real that he look at like a blood sister. So whole time the word come back on her. One day her being so lackadaisical, not being aware of the situation she done put herself in, she leaving a hair salon with her mother. Little dudes who got the word and the bounty was on her head, 10,000. Whole time the little dude slide literally in front of the hair salon, whip out, punish her right there in front of her mother, leave in front of the hair salon. They peels off, get up out of there. Now there's 2 people that's cleared all over a petty ass situation, a couple of dollars and a no good female. Now the mother, of course, she traumatized. She loses her goddamn marbles, as any mother would. She calls the police. They arrive on the scene. They try to get some, information. Mama Love tell them the car that they was in, but of course we all know the car striker, aka a Stolo, so the little dudes end up getting away with that. So now, once the broad gets punished, now we get back to the little dude who ended up putting her in this situation to begin with. So now Shorty got to step up. He ends up jumping out there in the streets. Now, mind you, the thing about him was he wasn't never really a hitter. Them two getting into this little argument for real, or the little petty beef that they had going on, he never had no intentions of it really getting violent. This is why he took it to the internet, aka putting insurance on himself. So once it started to get out of control and he really had to man up and handle that little situation, he wasn't even actually the one that went and punished the first little dude. He sent 2 of his homeboys, or more so they was the ones that was able to go and they handled the mission. But now it's directly on him. He jump out there in the street trying to play muscle. Whole time shit don't go his way. He ends up spinning the little dude's block one day. He jump out, do some old bluffing shit. He let off, but don't nobody get hit. Now, in his mind, he feel as though he did something. And he like, man, ain't nobody gonna try me. I spun around that motherfucker. They know what's up with me. But he not realizing these little dudes playing for keep. You done just got your little homegirl fake sister barbecued over some shit that you did. You involved her in that situation, having her be the decoy to wipe the little dude down. So now, of course, her mother, they wasn't really the best on finances. So about two weeks later, however long the funeral thing was, the little dude ends up going to the funeral. Him leaving the funeral, of course, like I told you, man, this street game get wicked, wild, and vicious. The little dude, they already had 3 hitters scoping out the funeral. So they trailed him from his sister's funeral, which is the reason why she's in the ground now, is because of him. They trail his car leaving the funeral, punish that boy at the red light, all over petty nonsense, man. A petty ass couple of dollars and a no good female. And guess what? The female was already tricking off with a whole nother dude. So these 2 dudes then caused all this commotion in the streets and to each other. And the female is ducked off with a whole nother man. Yo, these are the wicked and wild things that go on in the street. Why I always tell y'all, man, don't get involved. Do the right thing. But with that being said, V-Mob, y'all know what it is, man. Thank y'all for riding with me. Well, you know you forever live in with your boy, Stories with V. At this time, V-Mob family, smash that like button, smash that like button, smash that like button, y'all. Let's get this video right here, the 400 likes, man, and let's get to this 10,000 subscriber mark, man. We ready to walk down this 10K, 100K play. We putting it on the wall right here, man. So if you a true V-Mob member at this time, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop us a comment, make sure you subscribe, and share the live, share the video with somebody you love, because I love y'all. Hey, V-Mob, let's get it, let's get it, let's get them, let's go.